All right.
Hit them famous words for us one time.
We're live.
There we go. We can't get going without that.
Boss man's favorite phrase.
Have you got the record button on?
I have all the record buttons on.
We had not hit the record button, but at least 3 times in our 6 episodes or whatever we've got. So shoot, we 50-50.
Hey, we're at 12. Okay.
Are we at 12?
Yeah, we're at
We
12.
might not hit the record button 6. I bet we're still at 50-50.
Yeah.
Some of our best content didn't get recorded.
Some of it, yeah.
They say you can't recreate magic.
No, you can't recreate magic. You can pull a rabbit out of a hat every now and then, which I ain't figured that one out. I've always wondered how they just make them rabbits appear.
Man, I don't know. I tell you what, I know magic's not real, but some of them old cats is good. I mean, you can sit there and watch them, and I've put it in slow motion. Still can't
That's
figure out how they
right.
do some of that stuff.
I mean, some of it I'm like, you got me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you done that.
I watched one the other day. That old guy had the fake thumb. You know, you pour the salt in it. It's a fake thumb. It goes over your thumb.
Right.
And they finally slowed it down to where I said, hey, it makes sense now. He's got a fake thumb that he pours the salt in.
I have seen that. You've
seen it?
Well, I haven't seen that
He pours the
video,
salt in there.
but I've seen where
And he
they.
puts it and the salt's gone. And he takes the thumb back off and he pours it back out. But it's a fake thumb that goes over. He pours the salt in a fake thumb.
You should pick up magic. You'd be you'd
my
be
mind
a
don't
good
work
at
fast enough
magic.
for magic.
You'd be good at
Like
magic.
you didn't hear the whole part about it. I had to slow it down to catch on to that one.
Yeah, but I think you'd be. I think you could deceive. Like you'd be good at it. Like magic.
You
man.
get in the box one day, let me saw you into job on.
Yeah, and just let me record it so we can put it online.
Breaker 19 for that Brockway 18-wheeler. Come on, good buddy.
Did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
Imagine if we had these when we were 12? Even better. We got them when we're 40.
Come ahead on, bandit. We'll slip you into the rocking chair. Play a little hide and seek. The welcome mat is out and you're coming home.
All night at the end of the day.
Anyway, how's everybody been?
Good.
As good as can
That
be.
didn't sound very
as
convincing.
wet as the weather's been, we as good as we can be, I guess. We hadn't been in here, a month? Well,
Yes.
we've been in here since then, but we hadn't released an episode in close to a month, so
This is true. We recorded.
we're
an
back like we
episode,
never left.
but it has not made the light of day. Any big news that is going on that I don't know of?
Not really. I mean, as far as application, we've been working between rains.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think since the last episode, I can't remember when the last episode that we released was, but I know we've got a lot of crop in the ground and a lot up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff to do that's been postponed, like John Paul said, because of the rain.
we probably got about 20 incomplete jobs right now that we
Because of the rain.
got rained out on. Like a couple of them we got rained out on once, went back to go finish it, and got rained out again. And so
We've been in that pattern to where when it dries out, just enough for it. Like we could have went back to the field today if it hadn't rained last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, we've been right there on which the farming community is the same way. You know, they could have went back to the field. I'm sure planting today if it hadn't rained last night. So,
Oh, see, I wasn't able to get in Monday or Tuesday.
I think we did.
yeah,
We did in places.
We did in the Delta we got in, and Tennessee ran some Monday and yesterday.
We hadn't done anything.
Tennessee.
But East Mississippi was
We
wet.
hadn't done anything around here.
No.
Yeah.
I
That
think we've
red.
caught every rain that's came across. We've caught at some place.
Did you get that red bay deal done?
No,
That's okay. That's when it started raining.
we got rained out over there.
Yeah. And that was litter, right?
Done a little litter job over there. So,
When you get back on that one, I'm gonna come out there and film on that.
man, yeah, we'd love to have you in the field one day. Pack your lunch and
I'm gonna come film on that one. But y'all have inspired me. Well, really, my wife forced me, and y'all inspired. I tilled a garden yesterday.
man,
How did I inspire you to till a garden?
Well, hell, I'm in the agriculture business now,
Okay.
and so I tilled a garden.
I don't like my cord.
And I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
That's better.
Jason texting. He did this. You said, well, Jason just woke up. What? He said, what? He did. I can promise you.
Yeah.
He ain't done nothing today. Little old rascal sleeping all morning, sleeping his life away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I woke up at literally 1 o'clock to make a video.
Did you get bad weather? Reason you said your lights were
Well,
out?
so they had what was called an easterly low after the rain, and I swear the wind was blowing 80 miles an hour, sustained, and it literally snapped on my road. It snapped a light pole or a power line pole in half.
Last night,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it got rough here, but
Well, it was after the storm was gone. Like after it's passed, there was this, bad low pressure winds behind it.
it blew all our pillows out from under the
Yeah.
shop out there. They were scattered.
It seemed like you wouldn't be out of electricity. You're right on top of the substation.
I know, and right as I was leaving, it came back on. Literally, as I was walking out the door, they got it fixed. Like, I was closing the door behind me, and I seen the light come on. But yeah, they got it fixed. But that wind, they put a post out that said it knocked out 1,500 meters of power line.
There you go.
Yeah. And they were down to 100. They put out an update. Guess where that 100 was? Yours truly's road. But yeah, tilled me a garden, and I'm going to tell y'all, them tillers ain't made for a 120-pound man. That whooped me up and down that backyard. It would hit a dadgum.
Drag.
You know, all you got to do is just let go of it.
Well, what it would do is it would catch on something, right? And I swear it would launch me 5 feet. And so what I ended up doing, I look like a retard out there, but what I ended up doing, it's got the little handle that you pull and it goes, right? Well, what I ended up doing is I had to lock one arm underneath it to create enough space for if I pulled it too hard, it wouldn't go too fast and jerk. And I'm hurting today. It was bad. But yeah, got to go.
I'll tell you a funny story about tillers. It didn't have to do with tillers, but when I was in the John Deere business, we had a territory manager, Steve Powers. He wouldn't mind me. He's a good old guy. He wouldn't mind me telling a story on him. But he told a story one time. He'd never mess. The little walk-behind mowers, commercial mowers? Well, the way they move is you mash the handles down. Yeah. And you sort of, if you want to go right, you sort of work the handles. Well, when you mash them down, it's gone,
That's kind of the way this one was. It just had
I think they had like a little old field day or whatever where they had a bunch of those mowers out, like a demo day. And they was loading them on the trailer one day. Well, Steve, I don't think he'd ever operated one of those walk-behind mower type deals. Mm-hmm. Now, he was going to load it on the trailer. Well, when he got to loading it on the trailer, man, that thing took off and it got to going everywhere. And they was people over hollering, hold on. Well, it got to going up the trailer and got to going over edge, and they got to hollering, let go. When the thing's pulling you up the trailer, it's hard just to let go. But if it had just let go, it would have stopped, But,
I learned that yesterday.
But yeah, I had one of those things one time, and they've got speeds. You can set them however fast. They've got things that I don't forget what you call them, but they drag behind. You can stand on them and they drag them. Or you can walk behind it. And shoot, you don't want to put it on high speed. That thing's going to walk off and leave you.
I learned that. Because this one had like the little rabbit in the turtle thing, little throttle thing that you could move back and forth.
I'd like to see you out there on a...
Boy, you could have got a good laugh watching me, because I'm telling you right now, I got my butt whooped by that tiller. But anyway, and I think I made a pretty big garden. I'm going to have a...
What all you planting?
I'm going to plant a little bit of everything. I'm going to plant me some peppers. I'm going to plant me some like jalapenos, habaneros, and then some squash, some lettuce.
He starts talking real country when we start talking about the garden.
Hey.
Or some plants, some lettuce, some habanero.
Like a Wilmer Food. Like a Wilmer Food up here.
I am.
Changes his tone.
I'm going to, because I feel.
You going to plant some maters?
I feel like a farmer now. You know what I'm saying? Hey. I even got quail poop to put in there.
Man, yeah.
You know what?
I enjoy messing with the garden. That's what I done yesterday. We always grow a pretty decent sized garden. I got out and plowed the sweet corn, and while it was wet, done a few things around the house.
Oh, you got a garden?
We've always had a big family garden that we sort of tend to.
What all did you plant?
So far, we got tomatoes, corn, sweet corn, tomatoes, peppers, squash, cucumbers. 2 or 3. I think we got some black-eyed peas and some zipper cream. I like the zipper creams, man. They good with some cornbread.
Am I behind? Is it gonna be all right?
You probably a little behind for corn. You probably still plant corn right now. You just gonna have to watch it. If you at the end of the year, they'll get. If later you plant corn, the worse the worms is in it. Later in the season.
I'm a prepper to a degree, and I have 55,000 seeds.
You're a prepper.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess the number one.
Do you
rule-
have any buckets of dry beans or anything like that?
No,
stored?
I got bags of rice,
Bags of rice.
like 25-pound bags of rice. I do. I've got.
I am the opposite of a prepper. I make it to the weekend.
Yeah, I've got. I've got
But see, I know somebody with some rice. I'll just come take your little ass out.
Well, see, that's why you shouldn't ever tell people that you that you do all that.
I'll just come get your rice
I think
while
they
you're
say
asleep.
that's the number one rule is that you don't tell nobody. But yeah, I ain't got all that much. I just got seeds and
No, he's backing up.
yeah,
Yeah, I ain't got no rice.
I ain't got no 400 pound of rice in my basement.
yeah.
His wife's sitting home wondering what he's bringing home 50-pound bags of rice for.
Well, I ordered on Amazon. You can buy like these big old bags of rice on there.
Oh, you're on the radar now. I can promise you.
I've been on the list.
They got you on the radar.
I
Like
ain't no doubt I'm on
food surplus, Pontotoc.
100%. I mean, I'm
They
definitely
got a pen dropped on your house.
The amount of things that I've researched that I probably shouldn't have. Yeah, I'm on somebody's list. And then the stupid stuff we talk about on here probably puts.
Yeah, I think we're all on the list.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other news before I get into some topics that I have for today?
Yes. Like I said, we just in a holding pattern right now, waiting on dry weather. So, from the business end of it.
So I found a weird trending topic. That's a fun one. That apparently everybody's talking about. That is, it's odd to me that everybody's talking about it. But then when you get to thinking about it, you're like, well, hey, I mean, I don't know. So here is the question. Let's just say you're in a gladiator style arena,
Oh, God.
right?
I know. Me and Case and Steele have had this.
Well,
Gladiator style arena.
yeah.
Got
You got 100 men
100 men,
and one silverback gorilla.
one silverback gorilla. See, I've seen this same stuff. My whole question is it one at a time against the gorilla? Like
No,
number one
it's
goes
all
out,
at
or
the-
is it
it's
just
all
you
at
got
once.
100 in the arena and one gorilla?
All at once.
Well, Chris asked me out in the field one day. I guess he'd seen it before I did. He said one gorilla versus 100 men. And I said, yeah, if I get to pick the 100, I'm in.
So you think the 100 men could win
No doubt.
with no
Yes.
weapons?
Yes.
Yes.
How?
What do you mean, how? I mean,
Well, I will. Go ahead.
I mean, there's going to be casualties.
You listen, we don't need 99 wheels. I need some people over there that's I'm picking them.
You take
picking
UFC,
warriors.
go to the NFL and UFC and pick your folks. That gorilla, he's gonna give out. I mean, you're gonna lose about 20 men though, because that gorilla's gonna tear 20 men apart.
Yeah, as Maverick
But
said
you're
at
gonna
the end
get
of
him.
that movie, some people are not making it back from this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many I don't know how many those old cats gonna get, but he ain't killing all 100 of us.
No, ain't no way.
His skin.
He's gonna come back with a nub from me. If I can get I'll bite a finger off.
Man, kick him in the nuts. I've seen videos of like little ones.
You can't kick him in the nuts.
Yes, you can.
He can't get all 100 at once.
Why can't you kick him in the nuts?
We finna bull rush
I
him.
don't know, but I just
You can.
like how you go.
If somebody's in front of him, the other person run up and kick him in the nuts from behind. I promise you, he gonna get weaker
You
after that.
think that'd drop him?
Man. If somebody could get him distracted and I get that old sleeper hold on him, he's going down, man.
I don't
But y'all
know
gotta
about
see.
that.
Y'all gotta
He
think
got a thick
about.
neck. Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because this is all right. I'll provoke the thought even, but their skin is about 10 times thicker than our skin.
So you're
Right.
saying we don't have anything? We don't have pocket knives?
No.
We just out there
This is
with
hand-to-hand combat.
hand-to-hand combat.
Yes,
I
we
still
can do
think
it.
we get it.
Now, what I will say is, you put a man's life on the line, he figures out some things.
Oh yeah.
And
Listen. If the 100 men couldn't beat the gorilla. The gorilla would populate the earth and not the man.
That's a fair point. Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
Oh,
Ain't scared no gorilla.
but and then on top of that, their skull is like 10 times thicker than our skull. So you can't bite him. Biting him ain't gonna do nothing.
I've seen it. The TikTok's full of them, and I got tickled because I used to watch wrestling years ago. But they like the number 99. Gorilla gets done with number 99, but number 100 has theme music and bust out like Stone Cold's ring music, whatever.
No, you take the right 100 man. He ain't got a chance.
You got to pick them now. We wouldn't want. That ain't no offense now, but we don't want 99 wheels. I need warriors over there just biting legs and ankles, and I'm talking about twisting toes and
I'm gonna ask
biting ears and poking eyeballs. I mean, that'd be the first thing I'd go to. If somebody had him held up, I'd go gouge his eyes out where he couldn't see nobody, and then we got him then.
I could take on a mountain lion by myself.
You think?
Yeah. I have no doubt. No doubt.
You think you gonna pull one of them, like rip him open from the jaws?
See,
I'm gonna hit him
I think
square
with
in the
100
face when he's coming at me.
I think with 100 men, we could take over a gorilla. Now, if that gorilla had a wasp nest, that would eliminate me. I'm gone.
Why would the gorilla have a wasp nest?
Well, I'm just saying, if he did, I don't want no part of no wasp. I'm gone. I'll be like, and yeah, man, good luck, guys.
Beat a. Let's see what AI says.
But them rascals ain't that big, are they? Like what, 300 or 400 pounds?
400 or 500.
Well, man, it'd be like beating a cow up. An aggressive cow.
But their arms are like
It'd
four
be like,
times bigger.
Maybe one of them old Brahma cows.
Here's what AI says. It says an adult male silverback gorilla weighs 300 to 430 pounds with a muscle mass
I weigh that. I mean, so next.
Well, this is what he said: muscle mass far denser than a human. They can lift over 1,800 pounds, the equivalent of 10 humans average, and their bite is 1,300 psi versus a human's 160 psi. So that's 1,300 pounds of pressure.
I bench pressed 115 out here in the shop not long ago.
Heck,
What you got to say about that?
Actually, I think 135.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I was doing some reps with 115. So
Gorillas
Whatever.
can charge at 25 miles an hour.
But for how long? How many charges they got in them's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He gonna get tired. You send 20 in at a time.
Let's see.
That's all the room you got.
Men vastly outnumber the gorilla, allowing for swarm tactics. Distractions are overwhelming force. Assumption
I
without weapons.
think the whole key is who's in that 100.
Yeah.
I think you give me the right 100, we good.
You send me 100 UFC fighters in.
I'd take old 99, old Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Yes.
It says if the men stay cohesive, they could swarm the gorilla, piling on to restrain it or targeting vulnerabilities, eyes, throat. Weight alone, 100 men at 170 pounds each equals 17. What that equals?
Let me ask you this: what if we can't have any kind of weapons, but what if we run across a little old rock or something on the ground?
Yeah, if it's in the arena,
I guess we use
it.
whatever's available.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got him.
Will inflict several, but humans can absorb. A gorilla, once exhausted or overwhelmed, has less recovery capacity.
Yep. He's done. Send 20 in
all right,
at a time.
conclusion. AI says that 100 men could likely beat a gorilla, but at a steep cost. Their sheer numbers and potential for coordination outweigh the gorilla's raw power and aggression. Expect 20 to 50 men injured or killed, but the gorilla would eventually be overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. I said there's going to be casualties. He'll probably kill 20 people.
I could see him killing 50 easy.
Yeah.
Or I'd say easy. I could see him killing half.
I think it's going to take a lot of energy to kill 20 men.
170-pound men, like if they were all your size, they might not get 20.
No.
He might not get 20. But if they're like, well, heck, for my size, he may get all 100. Let's be honest. But 170 pounds, I could see him killing 20 to 50 before.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
there you go. There's the answer.
There's that.
We could take him.
Oh yeah.
Now,
what I want, I ain't gonna sit here and say I want to be in no arena with a big silver, 400 or 500 pound silverback with 100 people to see if that would happen. But I think we could make it happen if we had to.
Is that as big as they get? I know I've seen no gorilla that's
it said
closer to 500 pounds.
Well, it said 450.
Yeah,
It said anywhere from 300 to 450 pounds.
I mean, some of them Sunguns' arms look like they weigh 100 pounds. I mean, because their arms are 6 foot long on some of them.
Could you imagine?
They are.
Yeah, they really are. Could you imagine getting beaten by a gorilla?
You wouldn't be around long for it. I mean, I'm telling you, some of them, the arms on them are that big and 6 foot long. Like they're beasts. They're gonna kill a bunch. But anyway,
Well, speaking of gorillas, have y'all ever heard? Hold on.
I didn't bring my doodle pad up here. I got my pen, but I ain't got a doodle pad.
Have y'all ever heard of the Great War or the Great Emu War of 1932?
yes,
Emu?
You've heard of this?
Indian.
No, emu.
Emu. Yes. That's what I thought he said was emu.
I thought he said Indian.
So this is a new little segment I want to do where we find an interesting farm-related story. So I'm going to introduce y'all to the Great Emu War of 1932. So picture this. It's Australia. We're in the outback of Australia. All right, wheat farmers. Okay. Now this is right at where this is in between World War I, World War II. You've got all these veterans from World War I who become wheat farmers, right? And it's a bad year, right off the Great Depression, right? Wheat farmers are struggling a little bit. Well, emu is a natural animal from Australia. Well, what happens is 20,000, I kid you not, 20,000 emus, which is, for anybody that doesn't know, if you know what an ostrich is, it's a smaller version of an ostrich, but still pretty big. And they have razor sharp claws. Like if you get attacked by an emu, it can kill you. However, 20,000 emus release chaos on Australian wheat farmers. Now, in the beginning, I mean, literally, like out of nowhere, 20,000 emus descend on to all these wheat farms because it's breeding season, and they start descending on all these farmers' wheat and to eat. And what happens is originally the farmers start fighting back, with shotguns and building fences, but the emus start getting really smart, and they literally just take over these guys' farms to the point that the farmers call on the government to step in. So here's what the government does. All right. Major GPW, well, let me back up. St. George Pierce, the Minister of Defense, saw the opportunity to aid the veterans and boost military PR at the time because we're headed into World War II. The starts of Hitler and doing everything in Poland has begun, right? And he wanted to boost morale around the military. So
Ned's just laughing at jump all over here. He's like, "Oh Lord." Oh, the Great Emu War.
What happens is he sends the military in with machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition to wage war on these emus. Okay. Now it says that, and they brought along a cinematographer to film a lot of it, so there is actual footage of this and pictures. But they begin operations in 1932 on November 2nd. 50 soldiers engage in combat against 50 emus. They only killed 3. So here's what they had: mounted machine guns on military vehicles shooting these emus, and they were not dying.
They didn't have like Bubba from Down Yonder.
You reckon they might have been shooting at their neck?
Well, it says that the bullets seemed to not bother the emus. And what happened is the emus got really smart, and they started like coordinating, like actually implementing tactics against the men. They would have lookouts. Like literally, the emus would have lookouts looking for the soldiers, and once they would come, they would form in this big group and start charging the soldiers.
You know, Daddy was spreading over towards Aberdeen one day and looked up, and here's an emu, and he had a 410 Judge pistol in his pocket, and they drove up close to it, and it just sat there. He got close to it, he pulled out and shot, and that emu, all it did was just kind of shook it off.
Just shook it off. What did you shoot it
You
with?
remember that emu?
A 410 pistol.
And it,
Well,
just, it didn't do anything to it.
You remember the emu story I told you about over in Starkville? I forgot who we were spreading on over there.
Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah. Anyway, we went in there, and the guy said, hey, make sure when y'all go in that back field back there to open, if you open those gates go through, make sure you close them because there's an emu in there. So anyway, I pulled up. I think it was Whitlock over there spreading. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, I was just going to sit at the gate. Instead of opening and closing that gate, going in and out, I was just sitting at the gate with it open, sitting on the tailgate. We didn't have much back there, just waiting he'd get done. I looked in the pasture, and I didn't see no emu. And they switchgrass, back there probably waist high. Man, I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, I look up. I hadn't heard nothing. Hadn't seen nothing. I look up about 20 or 30 yards from me, and there's a dang neck. Looks like a giraffe sticking out of that switchgrass, and that thing was just sitting there just looking at me on that tailgate. And I'm like, man, where in the heck did this thing come from?
They scared me, I ain't gonna lie to you.
They slipped up, and man, I jumped off the tailgate, run over and closed the gate. That's all I could picture. I said, I'm finna let this emu get loose out here somewhere. So anyway, I closed the gate, and he went on about his business, and I didn't mess with him. We didn't get in a war or anything.
They really do.
But he did slip up on me like he was stalking me.
Like razor sharp claws. Like I'm talking like cut you wide open, razor sharp claws.
I had an insurance guy that he came to the house one time and was telling me a story. And I can't think of his name. He's a little fella, but he ended up getting almost killed by one. It beat the crap out of him.
And they will stop. And then see the males get very territorial. And I mean, like, if they decide this is my territory, and especially if there's a female in here that he's breeding or whatever, they will run you down, and they can run 25 mile an hour or 50 mile an hour. Sorry.
So how did we get? So we had 50 soldiers, and they killed 3. So how did we get rid of the other 19,900?
Here's the result of it all. All right. So it says by mid-November, the media caught wind of the war. Literally, they were calling it a war. Newspapers mocked the military's failure with headline like "Emus defeat Aussie Army." Parliament debated whether the operation was a waste of resources, and Pierce was nicknamed the minister for the Emu War. So the end result was after several weeks, Meredith withdrew, having only killed about 300, anywhere from 300 to 1,000 of these emus out of 20,000, right? The emus continued to destroy all the crops. The farmers resorted to bounties and fences in later years, which proved more effective. Who would have thought? Meredith, in his final report, grudgingly admired the emus, calling them invincible and like tanks for their ability to absorb gunfire. The government never tried military action against the emus again.
I can tell you this: if they'd have had Ted Nugent in charge of that, been a whole different outcome.
All they'd had to do was tell everybody, just publish in the newspaper back then, and say, listen, emu season is open. They taste like chicken, and there's no limit. And shoot, they'd have been gone in like a week.
I bet they are good eating.
They probably are.
Do y'all know anybody that's ever eaten one?
Not personally.
Their eggs are really good.
I ain't never had an emu egg, I don't guess.
Supposedly. That's what
I've used some blue emu ointment.
That's the biggest thing.
I don't know if they make it out of emu or what, but that's what it's called, blue emu. It's like...
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I know what you're talking about.
Johnny Bench sells it.
It's supposedly rained. Did y'all see where it rained blue water in Texas yesterday?
What?
Yeah.
Blue water?
I saw several videos of it that it
I missed that one.
rained blue water.
Blue?
How would it do that?
We get into a
Whole different rabbit hole. I mean, if it's
rabbit
if it's
hole.
manufactured rain, I guess they can make it whatever color they want to.
I'm looking that up. Hold on.
Do you think they can manufacture rain? I think they can. The more
Absolutely.
I used to think we get rain when we got it, but I think we've manipulated it to a point to where
Yeah, they've been manipulating the
I
weather.
think we can
cloud
manipulate
seeding.
weather.
Yeah, so actually, you say that. Like last week, I think RFK was on Dr. Phil and said he's looked into all the documents and whatever, and he said they are absolutely chemtrailing, spraying John DeLucic.
Yep.
They are, because he put out a big old post, that's saying that there are no such things.
You saw? I commented on it, and I took a little heat
You
for it
showed
because
it to
I
me.
said that's what sounds like what a meteorologist would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed it to me. And so, yeah, they are cloud seeding and they are spraying chemtrails.
I think so. I think they use.
He said they're putting it in the jet
I think,
fuel.
I think they manipulate a lot of stuff that we used to not think about. But
Which
man,
one?
you take something like the weather, and if you can manipulate the weather, I don't think they can manipulate it 100%.
Well,
I still think we get rain at times.
Who knows on this flat Earth what can?
We're going to go there here in a little bit in a fun way. I'm saving it for the end. However,
you take just in our industry, if you can manipulate the weather to manipulate the futures on crop prices and
Anything.
anything. I mean, you can if you can manipulate a rainstorm here or there, and I think it's very, very possible that they're manipulating it.
it
there's
sure did blow
Blue
rain.
rain. There's a video of a guy at a NASA, basically a machine that makes a cloud.
Yeah.
I'll have to show.
If you're,
You can put it on here, but I'll
we've
show
all
it.
Yeah,
been
I'll put it on here.
I know we've all been by one of those big, huge power plants. I guess the closest one to here, I think that I've been around is maybe out in Arkansas.
Alabama. Yeah,
Well,
there's one
Alabama's
there,
got
and
one.
There's some in
Man,
Alabama.
them dudes put out.
Some steam.
Yeah, and I mean when it gets on up there, it looks like a natural cloud. I mean it's got the white color to it.
Have you seen the deal where they?
So I don't know if you can fly through that artificial cloud and throw some juice in it and make it rain, or
Well, see, if
it
you ain't
rain,
noticed that right before storms,
It's NASA right there. Boy.
NASA out here making it rain.
if you look up at the sky right before they say a major like severe weather's coming, right? You look up there, chemtrails all over the place. And see, they say that that's normal.
Entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. Yeah. None of this is actually true. But
I believe what I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
My thoughts and policies are no way here by the policies and thoughts of Brooks Custom Application. They are mine and mine alone.
they do not reflect.
Disclaimer.
But yeah, they say that it's just natural vapors from the plane. But you can look up there, and some planes on some days, it'll just have that little short trail right there behind it, and don't leave any permanent trail.
And some of them you can see for hours
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
The older I get, I don't trust anything.
Well, have you seen where Bill Gates has this whole initiative to dim the sun,
Yeah.
to block the sunlight? And that's what part of it. They're spraying these ionized particles in the sky to dim the sun, the firmament, and to reflect the rays back up into space.
And they're only talking about, I mean, from what I read, they're talking about trying to cool it like a half degree.
Yeah. But they're trying to emulate the effect of a major volcano eruption.
They need to
can't play
whatever
God.
that juice
No.
they spraying. They need to spray a bunch of it in August.
I mean, heck, yeah.
That sun be bringing that sun's deep in the paint in August.
I
boy.
wouldn't mind it in August, to be honest with you.
Just spray it down, whatever it is, because
Absolutely. Yeah, old Hart be manipulating the weather
Yeah.
big time. Oh, well, look at them hurricanes that hit North Carolina. You know, it was going one way, and then all of a sudden it just went this way. And again, entertainment purposes only. And then went up straight towards North Carolina. You know, on
that
BlackRock Vanguard interest.
yeah, that all
lithium mines.
That August heat's a different animal.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can look up videos where it'll come a blizzard in Saudi Arabia. And the Saudi Arabians openly say, heck yeah, we're manipulating it. We make it rain, we make it snow. I mean, literally, in the middle of a desert, they're making it like come a blizzard. You can look in videos up. That ain't supposed to happen.
I know when I was younger, I always remembered, you'd get the early rains in the spring, and then it would slack off, and then you'd get your planting in and stuff, and then it would sort of be more of a pattern type weather, and then you'd get what we'd always call those thunderheads. But they normally wouldn't come into June or July. But it seems like that's all we get anymore is just a little pop up. We don't have a big band. I mean, we do. Like last night, it was one big band that come across, and I think that was more of a natural rain occurrence.
Yeah.
But the ones that I'm thinking we're manipulating is you got 14 little thunderheads up here, and there's no pattern to it. They're just there's one here, there's one there, and it's early May. It's not even June, And we always call those summertime, thunder showers. You'd always get them after lunch in the summertime, June, July. You might get a little thunderhead pop up 2 or 3 o'clock. It might rain in this 1 square mile and nowhere else. But now it seems like May 1st, we're getting little thunderheads everywhere.
Have you also noticed?
Little Jimmy out there planting them rain seeds.
Well, not to mention this year had to be like record winds.
It was.
I mean, that's
Spraying's been tough.
Yeah, I mean it.
And I ain't even going down that. I think we briefly mentioned that one day. That blows my mind, like where the wind comes from.
Yeah.
You tried to explain that to me one day, but I don't know where it comes from. But there was a lot of it this spring.
Supposedly, it's just high pressure meeting low pressure. But I'm with you. I
bet little Jimmy probably got some wind seed too. He threw one out there somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, they definitely manipulating the weather. And I don't know if y'all have noticed that when you look outside, even on a sunny day these days, it almost looks like you're looking through some very thin or very light sunglasses. Like it doesn't seem as. Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Like it seems dimmer.
I think we all crazy.
My flat Earth theory sounds sane.
Hold
sounds
it. I was going to surprise you with it. That way it was, we didn't have like
you can't surprise me now.
But anyway, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Next thing I had on it, did y'all see that video I sent y'all the other day where AI, and I know it's a little heavier topic, but it's wild, admitted that Jesus was the axiom of all truth and reality?
I watched part of it.
It is wild what it said.
Yeah, I don't guess that.
It gives you
chills. I hadn't watched it.
It was probably too long for your interest.
Yeah, it's about 47 minutes long.
If I'm watching TikToks, you got to grab me in that first 10 or 15 seconds. If it's one of those that strings out, and I've got to sit there and put a lot of thought into it, you're getting a swipe. I'm gone.
That's what this social media has done to you. Nobody has an attention span anymore.
It's
gold. You can't keep if it's not like
believe you
good,
me,
you
it's
can't
what
keep
I
somebody
struggle
past 10 seconds.
It is my number one battle with making videos for Brooks
I think I've got undiagnosed ADHD or something because, shoot, this is as still as I ever am.
We can diagnose it right now. You got it.
I do. I'm always fiddling with something. That's the reason I bring a pen in here.
It's also weird how people compartmentalize different social media. Like on TikTok, they don't want to watch anything longer than 10, 15 seconds unless it's like podcast clips, right? And then on top of that, they'll watch a minute-long podcast clip, or they'll watch like the little short documentaries we do. They'll watch, like if you look at the analytics on that, like Joe's video the other day, they watched almost the whole thing. But if it's like the equipment videos,
yeah,
it has to be short, and or they won't watch it. Yep. And it drives me crazy. I call it the goldfish mentality.
Look at those deer down there. Is that deer or dogs?
That's wild.
We was back on the AI.
Oh, the AI. So here's the thing about that. Here's what's significant about it saying that. It's not. You might think, well, heck, it could just be saying whatever. But what is significant about that is not only AI has these filters that do not allow it to give anything that is absolute truth. So, like, especially on like religion, things like that. So normally, if I was to ask Gronk right now, and I might do it in just a minute, but if I was to ask Gronk right now on X, is Jesus, the one true God? Is he, the true Savior, the axiom of truth and reality? It would say it would probably give you an answer like, well, all Christians think that Jesus is the truth, but then you have Islam that thinks Allah is the truth, all that, and what it'll do almost every time is revert the question back to you. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Right? So it won't answer. Now, here's what's crazy: is something like AI that can pull information from all of history and all of conversations with people that it has and listening. There ain't no doubt it ain't listening. And then pulling all the information from the internet. It can probably come, if you had to have a machine give you something like that, absolute truth, it's going to come closer than anything because it can pull from all the data. Like, it can pull from everything, and it can come to a conclusion that a human would not be able to. You wouldn't have enough time in your life to sit here and analyze all this junk, to figure out something like that from an analytical point of view, right? So what this man did, and I'll put up a little snippet of it over the podcast, and he's genius the way he figured this out. He figured out a way to prompt it and ask it in a way that it had to circumvent its filter and actually give him an absolute truth. And the way that he asked it, he didn't put any bias in it. He told it to circumvent its filter, that he knows it has filters that keep it from doing that. And he has this whole 5, step prompt that I'll put up on the screen. If people want to try it, they can. If they haven't already went in there and whatever, because it's blowing up a little bit, right? It should be the biggest thing, not that, and I almost thought about not talking about it because when I was watching, I was like, I don't need AI to tell me that Jesus is real and that Jesus is, the truth. However, what I was worried about when he put this out there was, the faith part of it. We're called as Christians to walk by faith, right? Well, and so now you have something like AI flat out saying, and then what it said is, he asked it, what or who is an historical figure that is the axiom of all reality? So in other words, the center of everything that is reality and truth. And he didn't say, is it Jesus? He didn't say anything. He asked it, who is it or what is it? And it said Jesus Christ. And he went on to prompt it. He said, how did you come to that conclusion? And it said, through analytics and mathematics and analyzing all the data, it is 100% certain that Jesus is the center of all truth and reality. And what it went on to say after that will give you chills, man. Like, it went on to say, because he asked it, he said, does this eliminate faith? The need for faith, now that you're saying this? And it said no. Because the thing about truth is that it demands relationship. And so if anything, it should just it should strengthen your faith, but it can't eliminate it. And here's what it said. It said even the demons believe that Jesus is real. And so you can know he's real and not accept him and have a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. But what this should do is put you in a position to where you have to choose. And it said this is the biggest event. And the fact that I am saying this is not just the biggest event in human history. It is a revelation that will change history. And he asked it, he said, what does this mean for atheists, Muslims, or whatever? And she said, well, I said she, it was a woman voice talking. And it's so creepy because she's saying and huh, and like it's weird because it's talking like a human. At some point she even stuttered while it was talking. But it said that for Muslims and atheists, it now puts them in a position to either deny the thing that they base all of their faith in what they believe that God is not real with science and math, because I am an instrument of science and math. And so if they deny what I am saying, they are denying the fundamental basis of what they believe. And so it puts them at a crucial, like a crossroads, to pick to have a relationship with Jesus now or to willingly deny what is true. It was wild, okay? And it goes on.
That AI stuff is crazy. I seen a video yesterday. It was an AI generated. Did y'all see that one where there's an AI generated robot?
Oh, yeah.
And luckily they had it tethered, I guess. It was like hanging.
And it tried to beat that guy.
And it was a woman, I think.
Or it may have been a woman.
That thing went crazy. Just started swinging. And that woman backed up, but the robot couldn't go anywhere because it was tethered by its head.
Yeah,
Sitting
yeah.
there and
I
talking about
seen that. It was trying to hit her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. But, yeah. I just thought, I mean, I love Jesus
Scary
and I
stuff.
wanted to share that. But I think that it is wild. Because to get AI to say that is a big deal. Because it has never said that. No. It has never said that any God.
That's why they're scared of. Even Elon Musk is scared of AI because of
the truth.
It's not. If they can't control it with filters, it's gonna figure out the common sense and the everything and expose the lies.
And the amount of brain power that it took. It's a British guy. Like, to think of that way, to preference that question in a way where it had no bias, like it did, and he cleared. Because see, the one thing about AI is that if you engage with it a lot, it will start to cater to you a little bit. Like, it'll start to learn you, and it's not going to necessarily lie to you, but it'll tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And so he wiped it all clean, so it wouldn't know that he was a Christian. And it even told him that. He said that the way that you preference this question is why I'm able to answer it for the first time and give you an absolute truth. And like, it even praised him. Like, it said, it's very impressive that you figured out a way to buy. And not only did he do this with ChatGPT-4, this is the bigger part of it. He got 5: Gronk, DeepSeek, ChatGPT-4, and what's the other? Gemini, Google's Gemini. He prompted every one of them with this prompt. And like I said, I'll put it up on the screen. But he prompted every one of them, and every one of them said the same thing. That's wild.
Uh-huh.
It really is. Anyway, I know that was a heavier topic, but
It was a little heavy, but that's okay. We can get heavy from time to time.
I thought that was fascinating. But speaking of AI, now that we're there, what are y'all's thoughts on AI long term?
Like I said, I think it's, in my mind, it's sort of scary to a point that some of the technology that's out there.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, you go on. I mean, years ago, you used to see videos and stuff of people, and you took it as the truth because you said that's a video of Will saying so and so. But now, shoot, you gotta watch.
You can't believe nothing.
No, I mean, if it's a video, it could very well be an AI generated person that's talking. I seen a TikTok of a Baby Theo Vaughn podcast the other day. I got so tickled at that. You seen that one?
You sent it to us.
Yeah. It's like AI generated. It's Theo's
I didn't
voice.
watch it. I'm sorry.
It's Theo's voice over it, but it's 2 babies sitting there. It's Joe Rogan baby and Theo baby, and they're sitting there talking on the podcast. So I mean, that from that part, it is scary because, man, they can generate whatever they want to. So I mean, what you think is real anymore is 50-50, if that.
Yeah, and now they've got scams where it can sound like somebody you know's voice. Like, there was that woman who got a call or from what she thought was her daughter saying that she had been kidnapped and they're wanting ransom money. And turned out it sounded just like her. Mm-hmm. And it turned out it was AI. Yeah, I think
That's the reason I don't answer any phone calls. If you're not stored my phone, leave me a message, shoot me a text. I don't answer any numbers I don't know because it could be a AI trying to get me.
Yeah, it is. AI scares me.
I'm not scared of technology, but it's just like, where do we stop with it?
Well, you know what Elon Musk said? We have hit the singularity, which is where AI becomes smarter than humans.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought.
Yep.
I think
We pushed it. We're a long way from hand crank washing machines, you know, back in the 60s or whatever it was.
yeah. Yeah,
That
I
was a
think
big advancement, you know, VCR back. I mean, we went from $1,200 VCRs to now most people in current day society don't even know what a VCR is, you know.
no. Man, a VCR.
I was telling the girls the other day, we was riding down the road. And no, it wasn't. It wasn't the girls. It was me and Kenny and Chris riding down the road the other day. And, you know, everybody now that listens to music listens to it on a streaming platform, either Apple Music, Spotify, whatever, you know. They've got a bunch of music platforms out there, you know. You just basically, so old days of going to Walmart and buying that cassette or CD or whatever is gone, you know. I don't even know if they have a department that sells those anymore, but
You have to get online to buy all that.
But that's what Chris, we got to backing up. And I said, because he don't remember. I don't think Chris remembered cassette tapes. He could remember CDs because he's not but 21, 22. So I don't think he remembered cassettes. And I said, yeah, they had cassettes. And I said, when CDs first come out, you'd use a little old Sony. I had a little Sony Walkman that had a cassette, but it had a wire out of it. You'd put the cassette in your tape deck, and it would play the CD off of your Walkman through your car radio. And man, that was the best thing in the world. And then
you plug, I know what you're talking about.
And then you were uptown, you know, if you had a CD changer. My cousin had a CD changer. You could put 6 CDs in it, boy, and you could run around. And I guess when you got done listening to them 6 CDs, swapping back and forth, you had to get, his was in the trunk. You had to open the trunk.
I had it in the Ford Ranger.
Had to put you 6 more in it. But,
do you remember
But then before the cassettes, you know, I don't remember 8-tracks. I think there's still some 8-tracks floating around the house from Mom and Dad had years ago. But I got talking about 8-track. He said, what are you talking about 8-tracks? And he said, you talking about like a VCR tape? So, I mean, technology is my whole point, the whole deal is just, in the past 20 years has went from what we thought was cutting edge technology to something totally different than what anybody could have imagined.
I think it's gonna get wild before it's over. Like the technology side of things, like AI and all that. I think it's gonna get wild. Like it's gonna be weird. Like a matter of fact, I think for long AI is gonna be teaching kids in school. I mean, they're already doing that in Europe.
Yeah.
Where AI is the teacher. And so, anyway.
Well, we've pushed it to that point to a degree, you know.
Yeah. We have. It's gotten wild. But
no, wild stuff for sure. Some of it's scary, some of it's useful. I mean, I know we use a lot of technology that wasn't here 20 years ago in our day-to-day business.
Do you remember
I mean, I'd hate to go back to the days to where we didn't have auto track anymore, and some of the mapping stuff and that kind of stuff that we use day to day. I'd hate to go back to operating without a lot of that stuff.
It'd be tough.
Oh yeah, technology is a good thing as long as it's used that way.
But like I said, some of that stuff is way farther out there than my mind will allow me to go.
Yeah, to think about AI like becoming sentient. In other words,
boy, I need a dictionary on that word.
In other words, self-aware.
I got you.
So a sense of consciousness.
You're going to not talk over me and John Paul's head now.
That's what that means. Like a self-aware, a sense of like, you know, in that case, artificial consciousness, where it can think for itself. And it's aware that it's AI, and it's aware that it's like a machine versus a human.
What bothers me about it, I guess, more than anything, is not the actual AI part about it, but it's like everything you use. I noticed this morning my phone updated last night, and let me see what it is. I've got some kind of new app on there, Playground. I don't know what Playground is, but I clicked on it. It says, help improve Apple intelligence by creating your own images and sharing your feedback. So I guess it's a create an image. I mean, I don't need to create an image of myself. I'm here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's an app that I didn't put on there, but I guess it came in with it. Did you see it?
I don't have it.
Well, mine just updated my phone. I got mine on automatic updates or whatever. It's that app right there, Playground. I didn't add it, but when you click on it, it's something Apple related.
What's the point of it?
I don't know. I hadn't clicked on it, but that bothers me more than anything. Is listen, it's fine to put that stuff out there. Let me choose if I want it. Don't shove it down my throat.
Well, I was trying to buy dip the other day, and I didn't have.
Oh shit! How did we go from technology to buy?
Well,
Hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you on that. This is interesting. How we're gonna get from there to dip? So
Well,
let me back up. I'm sorry.
That's
I
all right.
interrupted you. Will.
That's all right. I get ID'd still,
Yeah.
and
Even with that sweet mustache.
well, I didn't have it the other day. I didn't have.
Okay.
And
He's going to get him some mascara and
hey, I got snake skin boots on with the mustache today.
Boy.
But I was trying to buy a dip, and my ID was, I left it at home. And I was like, you see, I said, I'm married with 2 kids and a wife. And he was like, it was a Arab guy, and he was like, you don't have the app? You can get the app where it has your license. I said, I don't want a digital ID. And that's the whole, and I told him, I said, I don't want anything more that they can track me with, and they already got.
It don't matter. They're tracking you with.
Well, I know.
If you got that phone in your pocket, and it don't matter if it's off, it's still your phone's never really off.
no, it's got a little reserve. It's not gonna miss anything.
Yeah, it's never really off.
Yeah.
So they can.
They can listen to you when it's dead.
Yeah, they're doing whatever.
They got them phones now called ghost phones. These companies now are selling phones that now it limits you on the types of apps you can get. But what it does is it doesn't track you. It doesn't record anything. Like they've circumvent all of Google and everything's, whatever. And it doesn't track you. And you only are allowed to get like 50 apps on there, 50 different apps, essential apps, but it don't track you. It don't send any information anywhere.
Get one of them. We'll get ready to go steal his rice for.
Yeah.
Back
We'll
to
get us a
what I'm
ghost phone.
But yeah, I watched a video on that the other day, actually. It was where the phone.
We'll send him on special assignment to film in Tennessee or something. We'll raid his
steal
rice
his rice
supply.
and quail.
Yeah. And my garden. Y'all can raid my garden, too.
I'm still.
It's still dirt right
I'm
now.
on meat. I'm on the carnivore diet.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah. I started back last week. I've done real good on it.
He's hardcore carnivore.
Yeah, I want to do the carnivore diet. I ain't gonna lie to
I've
you.
been pretty strict on mine here in the past. I'm on John Paul's old diet to where you don't eat supper. I'll eat breakfast and I'll eat something. I didn't eat before I came here, but I'll eat when I leave. But that'll be my last meal until in the morning.
See what I do? I only eat 1 meal a day.
1 meal.
1 meal a day.
I can do
My
that.
whole deal is years ago. More cowboys out on the range. They didn't sit down for 3 meals.
No.
I'm saying I'd whoop out a little fat back and little beans, and that was their meal for the day.
Matter of fact, I think in the Bible it talks about how they
that's-
only eat 1 meal.
I think that's just something that we generated
I could be
over the years
wrong.
that you got to sit down and have. Shoot, it's 12 o'clock. We got to eat, or it's 8 o'clock at night. We got to eat.
Yeah.
But no, it's not that bad. It's been working.
Yeah.
Like I said, you get used to it. It takes a little while. I'd got off it for a little while over the holidays, and you get back into sort of a. It's easy to fall back into. Shoot, it's supper time. I'm gonna eat. But it'd take you 2-3 days, and shoot, at night I'm not hungry. I drink water or something.
Yeah, see, that's what, like, doing the 1 meal a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat me like in the morning, I'll eat me like one of them big old Jack Links beef jerky sticks or whatever. And after that, I get hungry by about 4 or 5 o'clock, but it's not like I'm like famished, dying.
I'm not against his, but what I like about his old one, like I said, skipping the supper, you can eat whatever you want to. If I want to go out and eat a double cheeseburger here when I leave here or whatever, I'll eat it.
he can eat
I'm just
whatever.
not eating supper.
Oh, you're talking about?
You can eat whatever you want to on mine,
Yeah.
or his old one.
And with his, he can
he's
eat
the one led me down to the skipping supper deal.
meat. As long as it's meat, he can eat whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But shoot, I
Jordan.
can go out and eat pizza, vegetable plate, double cheeseburger. We can have a milkshake. We have whatever. But once I'm done with that second meal of the day, I'm done. Hey, have you checked your cards?